Let's talk about Mandelson, PT, as he was known by his best pal, the late, ungreat, convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire. That's a hat. He's now been fired because of his relationship with that guy. Now, you know, the problem with clever people, so many clever people, is they're stupid. I'm not denying that Peter Mandelson hasn't got, you know, an impressive intellect. He's a clever man, but he's also incredibly stupid. He does very stupid things. You know, he took a interest-free loan, 375 grand, I think it was, from the richest man in the Labour Party, Geoffrey Robinson, back in the new Labour years when he was a cabinet minister and had to be fired because he didn't declare it. By the way, in those days you could buy a house in Notting Hill for £375,000. Now that wouldn't even pay the stamp duty. But he didn't declare that. I always remember that scandal. I'm old enough to remember it because it was brilliantly called Notting Hill Gate. He had to. Anyway, he was brought back from his scandal. He was brought back. And then found to have fiddled a passport for the Hinduja brothers, the very rich Indian tycoons, sacked again. So that's twice. Now they bring him back yet again, and we find out that not only was he Jeffrey Epstein, PT was Jeffrey Epstein's best pal in that excruciating eulogy in Epstein's 50th birthday book released by Congress, the Democrats in Congress a few days ago. We learn that not only did he have this rather dodgy close friendship with a very dodgy man, this friendship continued after Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor in 2008, a paedophile child sex offence. This guy, a wannabe senior politician, Peter Mandelson, carried on that friendship, stayed in Epstein's property in New York while Epstein was in jail, sent him messages, saying, oh, you can make an opportunity of this, gave him legal advice to try and shorten his sentence and get over the trauma of it, and so on and so forth. In other words, he's the Prince Andrew of politics. He stayed friendly with the same convicted paedophile. That three times this guy has humiliated the government he worked with and been fired in shame, and we're supposed to say this guy is brilliant and clever. Do me a favour.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it casts such a shadow, such a doubt over Keir Starmer's judgment. Now, we know his judgment is all over the place. You know, he couldn't judge himself out of the paper, could he? So, but what we've got here is the whole inner circle of the government, the cabinet collapsing, basically. You know, he's changing the whole thing. He was Peter Mandelson. It was and always is and always has been a complete liability because of all of the things you've just said.
Yeah, you know why, Philip? Essentially, it's a very bad trait for a politician, for a senior politician. He's eminently bribable. Let him stay in your nice property, give him a nice free glamorous holiday, and he's in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, and he really has no. We talk about politicians having no moral compass, don't we? But he absolutely has none whatsoever, and you can see that through the election with Epstein there. And I think that again, I keep coming back to Starmer, and I keep coming back to that connection as well. If he must know, if we know all of this stuff, all of the stuff you've just said there, I know, okay, and I've got a fair idea of the kind of person he is. I've seen him about London quite a bit. Last time I saw him was in the Wolsey restaurant, actually, which you may know.
Yes, I do. They've taken a lot of my money over the years.
Yeah, well, it's a nice restaurant. It's a nice
restaurant. I agree. Yeah.
But he was there lording it up, you know, and he's also he's absolutely representing representative of the regime that is just so discredited, the Blair regime as well. So he's connected to all of that stuff. He's connected to the war crime stuff. He's connected to mass immigration. He's connected to the absolute catastrophe that was the digitalization of the economy, the absolute focus on the creative industry.
Very keen on getting rid of the pound, wanted us to take the euro. So did Tony Blair, by the way. I said this yesterday about Mandelson. I actually don't doubt his intellect, but politically, he's rarely been right about anything in his entire career. A checkered career, mired by scandal after scandal after scandal. He's humiliated his country here. Next week's state visit by Donald Trump, because of Mandelson, will be one long embarrassment. You know what's going to happen. Of course, Trump will be quizzed about his his alleged entry into the birthday book, a tribute written within the outline of a nude woman, which, to be fair, Donald Trump says is a fake, but Mandelson does not contend that his entry, his excruciating toe-curling entry, was a fake. He admits that that's him. So the whole narrative next week, every time those two sit down, there'll be press conference after press conference after press conference. It's going to be Starmer, why did you appoint that man? Donald, you must be furious you had the pedo's pal in the ambassador's house in Washington for Britain, and so on and so forth. It's completely ruined next week's state visit. It's an embarrassment for the king, an embarrassment for the country. So thanks a lot, Mandy.